How's it guys, Munash here, and today I have a quick little breakdown for the left path of the Arcade Games Alliance War Showcase. So long story short, I pretty much just spammed Negative and Moleman all over the left path. Negative for the 3 Mystics and Moleman for the tactic fights. I also brought Valkyrie who can handle tactic fights, but I mainly brought her for negative synergy, just so I can squeeze out more damage from one special 2 if I need to. And since we have a 4th slot, I decided to bring Shocker for Onslaught, because there is a prowess node which Shocker just loves, speeds up his ramp up, and I did use one special 1, but I probably could have done the fight by going straight to special 2. Spidey Supreme, I wouldn't say is a pretty straightforward fight, but it's still not that complicated with Negative as long as you know how his miss mechanic works, so I like to bait it out with the evade, or I could just parry and drop a medium, then wait for it to go on cooldown before I can safely evade intercept. And what's funny about this fight is it is mighty charge, so he goes debuff immune, so typically I would use Negative special 3, but he's just so squishy that I can simply end his life with basic attacks only. So I just go for the special 2 and hope he doesn't dash forward so he doesn't purify my degens. But even if he were to, the fight doesn't take that much longer. And this is a fight that I have done a lot in Alliance War because he is often placed, or he was often placed on part 5, section 2, node 32. Although I haven't seen him there in a while now, maybe because he's just so squishy and there's so many good counters. Then next up is the leader on node 13, which is one of Moleman's best nodes, because it places a bunch of debuffs, but whenever you purify you get a passive fury, so his damage just gets supercharged. Although leader is a bit more interesting because he has that anti-purify ability, so his debuffs will still stick on you, and there is insult to injury which lowers your defensive ability accuracy by 15% per debuff, so your parries might not always land. Then next up is Shocker on node 29. Yeah, that's EMP modification, so you ideally want shock immune or shock resistant. And there's also personal space placebo and prey on the weak, so when your buffs expire he will gain a bit of power, so you gotta watch out for that. But to tackle EMP you can't just use Odin's Stormbreaker pre-fight. Mole is just great because he's shock immune, he starts off with true accuracy, so you're already countering the tactic before you build clarity charges. And even if you don't have true accuracy or clarity up, while he's in frenzy he does have unblockable special attacks, so there's no real fear for auto blocking, be it the tactic or Shocker's ability. And he can also block unblockable attacks, which Shocker can do when he gets enough charges. Then there's Onslaught on node 6, which is perfect for Shocker because Deja Vu prowess just ramps him up faster. And there's spiked armor which he can ignore since he doesn't crit, but there is also insurance policy which gives him a burst of power whenever you remove a prowess, but still not that bad. I think I removed 3 prowesses and only needed to bait 1 special attack, although it was a special 2. Then next up is Mojo on node 37, which is interesting because I've never actually seen him placed there in an actual Alliance War. But it is a very good matchup for Negative because he just naturally counters Mojo very well, and there's also personal space regen which is reversible. The only thing is if you use a champ that is buff immune, he'll also gain some power from the Resistance's futile node, because once again there is personal space placebo, but you can reverse that power gain as well. Then next is Wolverine on node 40, which is interesting because I think he is the only tactic defender I did not see anyone place during Arcade Saga. But a pretty easy fight for Moleman because the nodes didn't really do much. Just need to be aware of Burden of Might because that will drain your power whenever you lose a buff. But it's very easy to avoid triggering buffs since Wolverine's special attacks are easily avoidable without dexing, and parrying them doesn't hurt as long as he's not unblockable, of course. But that only happens after he has triggered 10 regen buffs, and at that point he was almost knocked out. Then the last fight before the boss was Chavez on node 46, so a lot of power gain and special 2 enhancements. This one can get a little bit dicey depending on how the AI behaves, because if she just spams heavies before throwing special 1, she'll gain a lot of power. In fact, she can very quickly get to 2 bars after a special 1. So I would actually recommend a more robust Chavez counter like Quicksilver. Having access to Withers helps a lot just to disable those dimensions, or some more consistent power control so she doesn't throw that special 2. But fortunately the AI was very kind to me. I don't think she threw a single heavy, so Negative worked quite well. Then finally we have the arcade boss, and this is where I swapped out Shocker for Vox just to have an easier time against him, because I haven't actually fought arcade since his event quest. I was taking a break from competitive Alliance War throughout the Arcade Saga, so I never really learned all his defensive abilities or even how to dex the specials. So I just brought a strong healthy counter, baited special 2 and blocked some of the buzzsaw hits. So yeah, Fox does well there, and I am considering him for rank 3 now, because out of all my 7-star cosmics, he is the one that I use the most on a regular basis now. And he just looks really cool, fun to play, so yeah, might do that in the near future. But anyway, that is pretty much it for this one. Hope you found it interesting, and as always, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.